Hello everybody, you already know who this is, and for those of you that don't, I'm Dead Pylons. I'm here to go ahead and tell you how to do Crown of Sorrows as fast as humanly possible. Let's go! Welcome to the first encounter, the Witch's Ritual. This first encounter teaches you the major mechanic for the entire raid. There are two jobs for this encounter, buff and non-buff. You'll need to split your team into 3 teams of 2. You'll need one person who's buffed and one who's non-buffed. You'll be in this team for the rest of the raid. You'll have one team on left side, one team in the middle, and one team on the right. In order to get the buff, you'll need to stand in the green mist in the middle. Once you get the buff in the middle, you'll be able to take care of the knights that are next to it, and rejoin your partner in your designated areas. But watch out, you'll still see some enemies that have a white aura around them. You'll need to rely on your partner to take care of them. And after a little while, crystals will spawn. You'll need one buff and one non-buff person to shoot these crystals to destroy them. There'll be 1 crystal per side, so look for the crystals as soon as you hear this sound. If you don't destroy these crystals, the team will wipe. And buff players, you'll have a timer on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen that's counting down. If this hits 0, you'll have Witch's Curse and die. So immediately after destroying the crystals, everyone needs to run to the orb in the center. Once everyone's inside, shoot the orb. The buff will now be transferred to your partner. Once this happens, ogres will spawn. 1 buffed and 1 non-buffed. Whoever's buffed takes care of the buffed ogre, and whoever's non-buffed takes care of the non-buffed ogre. Rinse and repeat until the encounter is completed. Follow this path to get to the next encounter. Welcome to the Kingdom of Sorrows jumping puzzle. The mechanic for this encounter is the same as previous encounter. You'll need buffed and non-buffed players to take care of crystals. The same teams as before, but this time there will be crystals with barriers around them. What you'll need to do is go inside this barrier and shoot it with your partner to destroy it. Once you destroy this barrier crystal, floating crystals will appear. Shoot them with your partner to destroy them as fast as you can. Once that's completed, platforms will rise from the ground with barrier crystals on them. You'll need to split up to take care of these. Once you've taken care of the barrier crystals, more floating crystals will appear. Look around, destroy them as fast as you can. You'll do this until you get to a checkpoint with an orb on it. Make sure the team's next to the orb and shoot it to transfer the buff. There are 4 checkpoints you'll need to hit. You'll also need to move as fast as you can because if you're too slow, the platforms will descend back into the abyss and you'll die. Rinse and repeat until you get to the very top. Welcome to Phase 1 of the boss fight, Galron's Deception. The same teams and major mechanic is still used here. The teams will be in the same areas they were in the very first encounter. 2 people at middle or stairs, 2 people on the left or void, and 2 people on the right or dogs. Once everyone's in their positions and ready to go, you'll need to shoot Galron so he can summon his deceptions. There'll be 1 deception at each location. You'll need 1 person to go ahead and punch these to start the encounter. 2 of them will disappear and 1 of them will stay. Once this happens, little green firewalls will separate the segments and you cannot walk through this. If you have the boss at your location, what you'll need to do is take care of wizards and ogres and survive. And wherever the boss is located, the segment to the right of it will have the green mist. You'll need 1 person on that segment to pick up the green mist and get buffed. Once you're buffed, you'll need to clear all ads until ogres spawn. Kill the ogres as fast as you can and get ready to pass the buff to the next segment clockwise from you. Have your teammate and 1 person in the next segment get to the orb. Once everyone's there, go ahead and shoot it. The wall of fire will now go down on these segments. You should now have 1 buffed person on each segment. You'll now need to go ahead and repeat the same process of clearing ads and killing ogres. Once this is completed, the 2 people with buffed and their teammates will run to the next orb and pass it to where the boss is. You'll need 1 person from that segment to pick it up. Once this happens, you should have 3 people with buff and 3 people without. Now it's time for DPS. You'll need to use the same mechanic as breaking crystals. 1 person with buff and 1 person without buff needs to go ahead and hit Galron. But watch out, Galron's barrier will break and explode. Anyone that's too close to this will lose their buff. So make sure to step away. If done properly, you should be able to break the boss's shield 3 times. And if you have buff, you cannot hurt Galron. So just stay back and get ready to break his shields again. And rinse and repeat until the encounter is completed. Welcome to the final encounter of the raid, Galron the Sorrow Bearer. This encounter still uses the major mechanic of the entire raid. You'll still need one buff player on each side, and you'll still need to take care of crystals, but this time there's no wall in between the segments, so you can help each other out where needed. To start this encounter, you'll need to shoot Galron. Once you shoot Galron, the green mist will appear on Stair's side, close to the giant pillar in the middle. Have one person from each side pick this up. Once these people have the buff, Galron will appear on each segment. While also having to worry about ads and Galron, you'll also need to worry about timer on the buff and crystals. You'll need to transfer the buff to your teammate every 40 seconds. Each segment has their own orb to do this. The designated orb for each segment is always going to be to the right of it, and the crystals move in a pattern. Wherever the crystals spawn first, it'll go clockwise from there. After some time passes, Galron will summon a deception. You'll need to use the same mechanic from previous encounter in here. You and your teammate will need to go ahead and hit this deception to break its shield. Make sure the deception is close to Galron when you break its shield, because once you break the deception shield, it'll be stunned. Once it's stunned, you'll need to shoot Galron's hand so he can summon a sword and slam down. This will kill your deception. Each side will need to take care of their deception. If you lose your buff while breaking the deception shields, it's okay. Either you or your teammate run back to the orb and get rebuffed. Whoever's buffed on the other teams can shoot this orb along with you to rebuff you. Once every side has taken care of the deception, Galron will begin to do a wipe mechanic. What you'll need to do now is shoot his hands. Once you've shot both hands, go ahead and continuously shoot Galron. Just like previous encounter, 2 will disappear and 1 will stay. Once the other 2 Galrons are taken care of and there's 1 remaining, switch your buffs immediately. It's time for DPS. Wherever the real Galron is, just go there and start doing DPS. In the middle of DPS, Galron will go ahead and pick his hands up again. What you'll need to do is shoot these hands to get him back into DPS phase. You can keep doing this until Galron is stunned. Once Galron is stunned, DPS is over. Rinse and repeat until the encounter is completed. If you somehow vibe with these kind of guys, why not leave a like? And hell, why not subscribe to the channel? It inspires me to make more. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, and have a good one. Bye.